Going to start off with this one from Ryan H.
Questions.
With the release of DLSS 4.5, NVIDIA seems to be recommending it only for performance and ultra performance modes, while suggesting people on quality or balance stick with DLSS 4.0. Do you expect a 4.5 release that improves quality mode, or will this forever be a performance/ultra performance only benefit? Seems that 5090 users are better off just sticking with DLSS 4 and using quality mode. What do you make of that, Alex, based on your experience thus far?
Well, I think people just need to understand why NVIDIA is saying that. They're not saying it's like has worse quality or something like that. The new preset M has worse quality at balanced or quality mode. That isn't the reason. It has a higher performance cost to run because it does anti-aliasing and all these things in a presumably better way. Reconstructs better. And as a result of it having a higher base performance cost to run, you will see less of a performance improvement by using things like quality mode or balance mode, because the actual runtime, frame time of DLSS is a higher chunk or portion of your overall frame time at that point in time. So that's why they say stick to performance mode. It isn't a quality thing. So the question here of, do you expect a release that improves quality mode? I don't think there will be a release that improves quality mode, because that's not what it targets. It's a question of how much runtime performance does this model cost. And it's a question of the output resolution and not a question of the input resolution. That is agnostic for the performance cost of DLSS, as far as I understand it. So I don't think this is going to change at all. I think what is going to happen is DLSS is going to just generally always be slightly getting more expensive over time. As the thing is, you have to think about it like this, like the original cost of DLSS, let's say on a RTX 2080 Ti for the DLSS 2.0 version was like, let's just say like 2 milliseconds or so, a little bit more, maybe a little less at 4K. If you brought that model, that same exact original CNN model to like an RTX 6090, we'd be talking about like 0.3, 0.4 milliseconds to run this model for the same quality of anti-aliasing. It's going to be taking an ever smaller portion of the frame time to run DLSS, at which point in time, it just begs the question, why can't we spend more frame time to get a better image at this point? Because it's already so small. So they're going to, with every advancement in tensor core hardware in the GPUs, they're going to keep increasing the quality of the model. And that means older cards that are going to be running this on their tensor cores are going to struggle more to run it, as it's going to take a larger percentage of the frame time for older generations. And I saw some people thinking that's weird and not right. But in the past, this very similar stuff has happened over time. Like running MSAA in Quake 1, with a GPU from like 2000 is a very different proposition than running MSAA in a game from 2010, right? The amount of geometry there, the rendering changed. It's more expensive to run things at higher resolutions. We've seen this all in the past, and I think DLSS and FSR4, FSR5, XeSS 6, they're all just going to increase the amount of frame time it takes on a modern GPU to run. And that's a good thing because we want higher quality visuals, and more modern GPUs will just run them better.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Are 5090 users better off just sticking with DLSS 4 and using quality mode?
I mean, this is I don't like this appraisal in general, because I don't think it's already looked fine in quality mode with the K model for most objects, unless you had like ghosting issues, which will be different under the M model. So sure, why not? But at the same time, it's also kind of a bit of overkill to run quality mode most of the time anyway for a lot of games. So yeah.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, it's basically, I think the point is that you're being given new tools to use, and it's down to the user to choose what they think's best, ultimately, right?
Right.
Yeah, I do get what you're saying. It is basically, as the generations progress and the tensor cores get more capable, obviously it makes sense to actually use them,
Mm-hmm. Right.
Give higher quality options that aren't just about increasing native resolution. What do you make about all of this, John?
Yeah, I mean, I've already I feel like DLSS 4 was already amazing, and like yes, the basically the increase in performance and ultra performance uptick. It's just like in my case, whenever based on my testing so far, in the off chance that a game is resolution sensitive and GPU limited there, it's nice to be able to drop down to those lower DLSS modes and still achieve like shockingly great image quality. But like honestly, since 4 in general, I feel like we've reached a point where the image quality with DLSS is so good that I would just prefer to use that over any other option anyway, including like native res plus TAA. Like it's genuinely shocking how good it can look these days. Like we have come so far in terms of just image quality treatment, and DLSS is genuinely just amazing. So like we're entering a weird territory where I feel like once we reach DLSS 4, like the quality is so good that like improvements are going to be kind of more subtle and or just applied to certain presets. And I think it's more about bringing up the quality of those more aggressive modes such as performance and ultra performance, right? Like where else do you go with quality from here?
Right.
There's really not, like it's so good that's like there's not really much headroom there.
Hmm.
So which is why, we've seen in the last years them shifting towards all these other things as well, like frame generation and denoising and all that, because the
Yeah.
ray reconstruction stuff, because it's all of this is just about eliminating all of these like image inconsistencies and noise and flaws in the way that a game is rendered from the perspective of the GPU driver. Like what can the GPU do to solve these problems? Because there's always going to be rendering issues in games that the GPU has less of an influence over because it's a design choice or something done by the game itself, in which case you cannot just driver your way out of it, right? But
Hmm.
uh NVIDIA is doing a good job tackling all of the things that it can, and because it's become so good, it's obviously these sort of changes are going to be, it might feel more like sidesteps in some cases.
Yeah, I mean, I was trying. I mean, that little throbbing red LED in the corner there is actually an Asus RTX 2070, and I was just experimenting with preset L, which is the ultra performance model, and I
Oh
just wanted to
right.
see what I could do with it on a 2070, which, judged by today's standard, it's not a particularly great GPUs, less capable than a console. But I was quite amused to see that I could run Control on ultra ray tracing, 1440p ultra performance mode, preset L at 1440p 60. I mean, you can kind of see where. I mean, it's 480p internal resolution. This shouldn't work. In fact, I'll send some footage to Oliver here. You can check out how it looks. It kind of shouldn't look this good. Now, I'm not saying this is the best way to play Control on a 2070. It's just kind of nuts what this preset is actually doing. And presumably that would actually be quite heavy on a
there's
2070 as
there's
well.
been a
It's
lot of this
just
stuff
kind of
going around
crazy
this week.
stuff.
People showing things running at like absurdly low resolutions, like 360p, 240p, and showing
Yes.
just like how much detail DLSS is able to extract from such a low res imagery. It's really
Yeah,
really
I did the same
impressive.
thing with Alan Wake 2 on the 2070. Again, 1440p, 480p internal, and I think on balance it probably looks better than the PS5 version, which is running at a much higher internal resolution. That's how crazy DLSS is these days. And I'm kind of curious about this preset L and why they decided to make a model that's. I think it's actually the most computationally heavy version, but it's designed to be used at the lowest possible resolutions. And there it is. It's doing some crazy stuff. Curious about what it can do at 4K. But as we speak, Alex, you're still doing is it preset M that you've taken a closer
That
look at?
preset M is the primary thing at the moment right now, because ultra performance is more of an icing on the cake discussion topic, since it is less useful usually for most people.
Yeah.
But preset M, looking at performance, looking at image quality improvements, potential regressions, pain points of the original model. It's all that kind of stuff. And I'm hoping to have it out now, health
Excellent.
permitting, as
Yes.
soon as possible.